It is time for the Royals Report, and this week we got a look at the annual Sovereign Grant Report from the royal family. The report shows just how much money is used each year to support the Queen, as well as to maintain the royal palaces.
So this time around, the Sovereign Grant showed that the money that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle used since moving into their new home was pretty significant. So for more on this, we're joined by BBC Royals Correspondent Sarah Campbell from London. So Sarah, what did we learn from the release of the Sovereign Grant Report this year?
Hello there. Hello, Vlad and Anne-Marie. Yes, indeed. It's quite a big story every year because it essentially tells us how the Queen's money, or the money given to the Queen by the British taxpayers, is spent. And this year we found there'd been a 41% increase in spending. Much of that is to do actually with a 10-year-long project to do with Buckingham Palace, which, although from the outside looks very grand, actually inside it's crumbling. Lots of things like plumbing and wiring hasn't been replaced since the Second World War. So that's taking a lot of money. But as you say, the main headlines really were grabbed by this £2.4 million spending on Frogmore Cottage. Now, this is the cottage in the grounds of Windsor Castle, which Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, recently moved into with baby Archie. We say it's a cottage, but actually it was 5 houses knocked into one. It was given to them by the Queen to become their sort of official residence. And there were sort of raised eyebrows, I think, particularly in times of austerity, people wondering whether £2.4 million is a lot of money to spend on one dwelling. We should say that the palace were keen to point out that the expensive fixtures and fittings, sort of personal touches, would have been paid for by Harry and Meghan. It was the basic structural costs which were picked up by the public purse.
So we also are learning this week that Harry and Meghan are splitting from their joint charity that they have with Will and Kate. Eyebrows were raised. People are wondering, what does that mean? Because, you know, there's been a lot of talk about maybe the boys aren't so close now that they're both married. But should we bring our eyebrows back down?
Yeah, Anne-Marie, you're right. This is to do with the Royal Foundation. This is like an umbrella organisation where last February, we saw the first annual meeting. It was dubbed the Fab Four because for the first time we had Harry and Meghan on stage, Kate and William on stage. And this was to be, there was all the talk about how strong they could be in terms of charity work together as a foursome. You may remember that one of the things the Royal Foundation promoted was mental health charities called Heads Together, which really changed the conversation around mental health in this country and further afield. So there was surprise, I think, when it was announced by the trustees that they were going to split, that the Royal Foundation would stay with Catherine and William, and Harry and Meghan would go and set up their own foundation. And the official reason given for this was because the two princes are on divergent paths, is what they said, is that William is one day going to be king, he'll be on a separate path. Harry, in a way, Harry and Meghan have a bit more freedom in terms of their charities, they will go that way. But sort of on top of the moving away from Kensington Palace, that all these other changes, I think it did sort of add to this speculation that there's been some sort of rift, if you like, between the two families.
All right, Sarah, let's talk Prince Charles. He had a really fun week. I'm a huge 007 fan, so the fact that Prince Charles got to tour the set of the next James Bond movie was pretty cool. At one point, I was trying to listen to some of the audio, and I saw him interacting with Ralph Fiennes, who plays the new M, but the Prince was also asking him questions about playing Voldemort in the Harry Potter movie, so I thought that was pretty funny, too.
Well, it's two great British traditions, isn't it? The royal family and Bond. Prince Charles is patron of the British Film Institute, so he was there with that kind of hat on. He's also obviously the head of the patron of the intelligence services, so he's got that hat on as well. And as you say, that he met up with Daniel Craig, the star of the new movie. It's being filmed at the moment. It's the 25th Bond movie, and I think there were questions over whether the stars were Prince Charles, Daniel Craig, or those amazing cars which have been custom made for the film. Yeah,
very, very cool. I mean, those cars are amazing, and seeing Daniel Craig and anything that Daniel Craig is wearing is kind of cool because you all want to know what Bond's going to wear in the next film. Sarah Campbell, always great to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.